Right, Stephen, you're here in Oslo for the FIFPro tournament. First of all, what do you think of this tournament, and how important is it for you Ireland players to come here and play for a contract?
Yeah, I think it's vital. I think it's a great service that any union can have for its members to try and find them employment, especially where times are tough in Ireland in regards to the financial situation in the country and employment situation. So I think a tournament where it can give players the opportunity to first of all prepare to go to a tournament, to come to Oslo. It shows some of our players who may not have an opportunity to travel abroad to play what it takes to be a professional footballer and how prepared you need to be, and it also gives our players a good gauge to see in other countries the standard of players that are in Norway, Sweden and Finland. So I think it's on a number of levels it's very, very important, and mentally as well, that players are with their peers. They're not just the only people that haven't got contracts. That it's not just Ireland where players are struggling to find professional contracts. That it's in other countries, and I think that's vital as well.
You said that the financial times are hard in Ireland on the Ireland football. How is the situation like? Is it so hard to get a contract that it's almost impossible, or how is it?
Yeah, no, things have got better. 3 years ago when the tournament started in the country, the football was at an all-time low, but things have stabilised a little bit, and to one stage where we didn't know whether we'd have 17 or 18 players to travel with. So things have got better. I think we've bottomed out in our country in relation to the financial crisis. I think we're seeing the green shoots of us coming back. So I think that it's positive that players are getting contracts earlier, but like everything, there's always the player who has a bad injury last year, there's always the player who had a lack of form last year, or there's always a young player who starts in the league and does really well and then just finds himself losing a bit of form. So I think this gives guys a fantastic opportunity to come together, and for the union, it's great the one thing I get out of it is that we get to see our members one-to-one for 3 or 4 days, something that you wouldn't have. Normally you go into a dressing room and you see players and you have a chat with them for a couple of minutes. You have a relationship with them if they have a problem, but you never get to travel with them, and I think it's fantastic to see the members firsthand and see firsthand how much work we put into them.
And coming into this tournament, what is your success rate? What do you want to get out of this tournament?
Yeah, I suppose the success for us is that we had a player offered a contract to FC Alta in Norway last year. So a success for us is that we can get a player maybe to Scandinavia. I think that's a success. I think ultimately if we can find employment for all our players, and whether that's in Ireland or anywhere else, I think that's ultimately why we're all here. It's for the player. It's not for Ireland to win, even though we have been third and second, and the competition will always be there between the managers, between the players. But I think ultimately the goal is to try and find employment for players and give them a platform to be fit, to enjoy it, and to believe that they can still be professional players.